cup. Hey!
Hey guys, I'm Anna.
And I'm Brian.
And we are
Those Annoying Vegans!
So before we begin with today's video, we wanted to let you guys know that Primal Edge Health and friends watched our video.
Oh, they did?
Ton of DMs and messages regarding this video.
Yeah, it was a lot to get through.
And then a few Insta stories in which Tristan tagged us.
I was perusing some of the comments on this great video, which I put in the link, or in the stories. There's a swipe up link in one of the previous stories to those annoying vegans. The argument that he makes in this video is we're all stardust. We're all stardust, bro. We're all literally stardust, he says. Okay, in your theology, in this monist theology, those annoying vegans, if we are all stardust, then what is the basis for morality? In your worldview, you cannot answer this. Now, of course, I'm not saying that we are not morally responsible, that there is no basis for morality. But those annoying vegans, riddle me this. If we're all stardust, bro, what makes it different for us to eat animals, but it's okay for other animals to eat animals? You can't answer this in your atheistic, materialistic, nonsensical New Age vegan philosophy. So riddle me that. Theological question for those annoying vegans. Come on my channel and we can debate vegan activism, the morality of veganism, why you believe what I do is wrong. And you can try to convince us, try to convince me and my audience of your position. You can come and defend your position. So, the debate with those annoying vegans. Let me know, guys.
He really took issue with the word stardust. Out of the entire hour-long video, we were all literally made of carbon, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen.
Those are facts.
But Tristan did challenge us to a debate.
Okay, great. Let's do it. Let me get back to you tomorrow. I'm going to consult with my wife, check the schedule, and I'll see what we can do about a couple days out from tomorrow.
We actually went on YouTube and watched a couple of debates in which Tristan participated, and we thought he was perfectly reasonable in his debate etiquette.
Yeah, I mean, we know, like, we're YouTubers. He's a YouTuber. When you're behind the camera, you turn it up a little bit. We get it. But honestly, we're really looking forward to this debate.
Yeah.
I think it will be an excellent exchange of ideas, and we will keep you guys posted. So we're pushing it to later this week. We will let you guys know when it's going to be.
Follow us on Instagram for those updates. Okay, so let's begin.
Yes,
What are we doing?
Today's video, we are responding to someone named Daphne Reloaded. Apparently, she's an ex-vegan, which isn't a thing. She once used to eat a 100% plant-based diet and has now decided to return to eating animal products. But saying you're an ex-vegan is like saying you're an ex-anti-slavery person. Like, I was for slavery, then I was against slavery, now I'm back to being for slavery. Doesn't really make any sense. She released a video called 7 Questions Vegans Can't Answer Without Lying. And so, we're vegans, and we thought we would answer these 7 questions without lying.
I'm sure that was there for us.
Yeah.
Clickbait. She got us.
Worked like a charm.
But, you never know what you could learn. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
Hey friends, it's Daphne and welcome back to my bathtub. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you should totally subscribe because I'm going to be doing some pretty crazy stuff, including reading you an excerpt, a very juicy excerpt from my diary. Yes. And without further ado, I'm going to read to you what I wrote in my diary, which is a list of 7 questions that I have for vegans, which you might want to have for vegans, and which vegans might want to have for themselves. Now listen, if you're a vegan and you're watching this and you want to answer these questions, keep in mind that you're free to lie your ass off and just say whatever you want to say that sounds amazing to answer these questions in the comment section. You have all of that ability. You can lie. But can you continue lying to yourself? Okay, that's the bigger question. You can say stupid answers to these that nobody's gonna fucking believe, but at the end of the day, answer these questions for yourself, to yourself, and see how the answers make you feel. In my opinion, this is a series of questions which could cause a person to self-reflect in a way that makes them understand that there might be no way in hell that veganism is correct or good or even normal or natural. Like,
Normal or natural? I mean, why does veganism or anything have to be normal or natural for it to be good? The meaning of normal changes over time. For a long time, I thought it was normal or natural to pay into animal cruelty so that I could have a piece of steak. It might have not been normal back in the day to have a cell phone. People still had pagers. People were still using fax machines. That changed.
As for natural, we use the internet. We go on YouTube and make videos in bathtubs with red lighting, and we live in houses and apartments, and we wear clothing and we shower. All things that are unnatural. Don't know why that's even an argument. And she even at the beginning, she said correct, which is strange. Like, is veganism correct? Like, well, I don't know. Is being anti-slavery correct? If you believe slavery to be moral, then in your opinion, slavery is correct. If you believe it to be immoral, then I guess it would be incorrect. Morals and ethics are not math equations. 2 + 2 is always going to equal 4. That is correct. But morals and ethics, they're subjective. They change. As societies progress, things that used to be considered moral are now considered immoral. It's not necessarily
An argument.
a correct thing. Yeah.
I'm going to give you the questions, and you can do with them what you will. You can copy them and paste them, put them in the comment section and answer them. You can answer them to yourself. If you're a non-vegan and you want to use this later for ammunition to have an argument with a vegan, write these questions down, because vegans need to answer these questions for us and for the whole world, and mostly for themselves. They need to answer these questions for themselves. The first question comes from Vegan Deterioration, who asks vegans, how often do you dream about eating non-vegan food? I follow that up with a second question, which would be, if so, how often? Now,
Oh, hold on. She repeated herself? How often?
How often do you dream of eating meat?
And if so,
And if so, how often?
That's kind of, I don't know that addendum is necessary, but how often?
Okay.
Okay, how often,
How often?
do we dream of eating animal products?
If I'm being perfectly sincere,
You can't lie. This
I
is
can't
without
lie.
lying.
I can't lie.
Without lying.
I honestly, I never sit here and crave animal flesh because...
No, dream. Do you dream?
But I think she's talking about daydreaming.
Oh, daydreaming.
I mean, if you're talking about dreaming, like
literal
in my
dreaming?
sleep, I've honestly not dreamt that I've eaten anything at all. Actually, I don't think I have food dreams.
I don't really have eating dreams. Yeah, I've never literally dreamt it.
But I have had slaughterhouse dreams, which is a whole different issue. PTSD, maybe. But if you're talking about daydreaming or sitting here and craving...
Like fantasizing?
Fantasizing, yes, which I'm sure that's what she meant. Then I don't, because having been to slaughterhouses many, many times, watching these animals in the trucks covered in feces and urine, the smell coming out of the slaughterhouse of... I don't even know how to describe it. Like Farmer John occasionally has this smell that the city itself has complained about. It's been on the news. It makes you nauseous. It gives you headaches. It's like putrid death.
Yeah. It's the smell of dead pig corpses.
People bring incense to light when we hold vigil because it is so putrid. And once you put 2 and 2 together, the thought of eating bacon, I can't get rid of those memories of those smells, of seeing the pigs in those trucks looking at me hopelessly, of the chickens covered in feces and urine, dying. They're babies, they have respiratory infections. You can hear the crinkling in their lungs. The cows that we've seen at these factory farms, specifically in Ontario, oh my gosh. Once you've seen that, there's really no reason for your brain to even go there anymore when you have all these other amazing options.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't sit around and, fantasize or daydream about eating animal products.
Do I desire to eat the flesh of a chicken while I have a beautiful chicken living with me here at my house? No.
No.
I would not do that. I cannot even conceive of it.
I mean, for you out there that live with cats and dogs, do you have a craving for cat and dog flesh?
And even if we didn't live with a chicken, even if we didn't love cows or pigs, which I do, I love I've always loved animals. But let's say I didn't love a particular animal or any animal, just because I don't love animals doesn't mean I am justified in causing them needless suffering. Respect and love, two very different things. I think you can do one without the other. If you don't love animals, you can still respect them and their inherent right to live. It's their life, not ours. We love to take charge over everything. We love to put our hands on everything. Their lives, not ours. Their skin, not ours. Their muscle tissue, not ours. We are so freaking greedy.
We would assume that Daphne does not love every single human being on planet Earth. It doesn't mean you can just needlessly murder them, right? You don't have to love someone to respect their right to life.
Yeah.
Do I wish that I could just go to whatever fast food restaurant I wanted, or go to whatever pizzeria I wanted, or go to wherever I wanted and get whatever food I wanted? Would that be more convenient? Would that be easier? Yes, but at what cost? Is it reasonable for me to subjugate another sentient living being, to force them into existence, to live a life of misery, to be mutilated, to be tortured, to be confined, to be exploited, and then ultimately to be killed just so that I can have a little more convenience in my life? I don't think it is. So no, I don't sit around and dream about eating animal products, because animal products are products of cruelty.
And cruelty that we've been firsthand witnesses of. Not to mention all the footage we've watched and continue to watch to inform ourselves. It is heart-wrenching, and it completely takes away any desire to participate in that, or to put it in my mouth, in my body, and in my soul.
I've interviewed a ton of ex-vegans, and even
Again, no such thing as ex-vegan.
some current vegans, and I have to tell you that there is a trend, and the trend is that they do very frequently have ranch dressing dreams, chicken dreams, steak or cheese dreams, cream cheese on a bagel dream. This happens.
We have all of that, but made with plants, and it tastes the same, if not similar. So I could sit here and dream about, I would love the taste of buffalo wings. Mm-hmm. That's reasonable, but I don't have to kill a chicken or pay to have a chicken killed so that I can have buffalo wings when I can just have the Gardein or Morningstar buffalo wings.
Yeah. We go to Veggie Grill and get buffalo wings.
And you're going to say, oh, well, that's processed. Guess what else is processed?
Yeah.
Animal products are processed.
Yeah, but if you deep fry cauliflower, for the example, buffalo wings are chicken flesh deep fried in oil. You can take cauliflower and deep fry it in oil and then season it with the exact same sauce. It's like just as processed, less processed, because you're just deep frying a head of cauliflower and not a chicken corpse.
This happens, okay? So the number one question to vegans is, do you dream about non-vegan foods? And my secondary question to that is, if so, how often?
I think she misspoke on her first question.
Oh, do you?
Do you dream?
And if so,
how often? She said, how often do you dream? And if so, how often? Minor critique. Never would be the answer.
3. How often do you eat or use fake meat, fake milk, fake butter, fake eggs, or fake cheeses? Now, like I said, you can be a total asshole and just say, oh, I don't dream about any non-vegan foods, I'm perfect, send my ass to vegan fucking heaven. Or you could just say the truth. You could also lie and say, well, I don't eat fake meat, and I don't eat fake milk, and I don't eat fake butter, I only eat kale and vegetables, because that's how you do veganism appropriately. Blah, 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 blah.
She could have a career in voiceover.
Oh, amazing. Is it a Freely the Banana Girl impersonation? She's doing an Australian accent.
I'm not sure, but she's already made up her mind that we're gonna lie.
I guess so.
So, either you take us at our word, or you think we're lying, even though
Yeah.
there's no reason to lie. Even if someone said, yeah, occasionally I crave the taste of sardines, you could justify that and say that what you're craving is a taste that you can replicate with the vegan version.
Yeah, I think the problem with both of these questions, how often do you wish you could still eat these products? And number two is, how often do you eat the vegan alternatives to these products? So if you're craving the product, then obviously if you're a vegan, you're going to eat the vegan alternative. So they kind of go together, but they both are talking about the same thing, which is the flavors that we crave must be a justification for needlessly slaughtering animals against their will.
Mm-hmm.
And sensory pleasure is not a justification to commit an immoral act with a victim involved. We've decided that as a society because things like rape are considered immoral, pedophilia is considered immoral, punching someone in the face because you're angry at them is considered immoral. Even though all of those activities would satisfy some sense of pleasure within the person doing them, they are still wrong. Taste is yet another sensation that we have in our body that can't be used as a justification to end someone's life at the age of 6 weeks old.
We all grew up with these flavors. I mean, very few people were born into a vegan family, but for the rest of us who were born eating those flavors, it's what we've been used to. And let's not forget that most animal products are seasoned with spices and sauces, aka vegan food. And what we're essentially craving is either salt, sugar, or fat. Now, how we fulfill those cravings is with plant-based foods. So inherently, I don't think there's anything wrong with craving those flavors. Do we crave those flavors in the form of animal flesh and animal secretions? No, because that's gross.
So as for the question, how often do we eat vegan alternatives to meat, cheese, milk? Fairly regularly. We'll make a chili, we'll put some soy crumbles in it. We have plant-based milk almost every day.
Yeah.
We eat plant-based cheese.
So
what?
What?
And continue lying to yourself. We're not going to believe you, but you can continue lying to yourself. 4. This is a really, really good question. Have you ever thought that something tasted too good to be vegan? And maybe you later found out it wasn't totally vegan, or somebody didn't read the label appropriately, and you trusted them and it wasn't actually vegan, and you could tell because it tasted too good. Well, that's also...
I don't know if too good is the word we would use to describe that. Again, this is going back to flavor.
This is
But
4 questions about taste pleasure.
yeah, it's very concerned with taste. There have been times, like, most recently, and by recently I mean maybe a few months ago, where we went to Pizza Rev and I ordered a vegan pizza, Brian ordered a vegan calzone. They mixed up his order. And he took a bite out of it, and when he realized that something wasn't right, it's not that he said, "Oh, this tastes too good to be." No, it
I
was
didn't say that at all.
He was like, "Oh, something's off."
Actually felt wrong. I was actually quite upset because with a calzone, they're
Covered.
they're closed,
Yeah.
so you can't see what's in them until take a bite out of it. We went back to the restaurant, we explained the situation, but I wouldn't say that, in the handful of times since we've been vegan where we've accidentally eaten something that's not vegan, it wasn't like, oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so good. I wish I could eat that every day. It's more like, oh, someone just gave me a food product that had a dead baby cow in it. How f***ed up. It's bad.
Now, on the other hand, there was one time where I was having ramen at a vegan restaurant, and it had these pieces of marbled plant-based pork, and it was rubbery, and it tasted really smoky. Like, it really tasted like pork, and I didn't like it. I had to pull it out. It was way too close for me. So there's that.
These products don't taste too good. They just taste like what they are, which is products of cruelty and filled with animal corpses and secretions.
And that's just based on our experience too. I mean, someone else might have had a different experience. That's just our experience.
Well, that's also asking you the question of, do you like the taste of animal products? Duh, of course you do. But no, go ahead and leave a comment and say, you don't like the taste of animal products. You don't eat any fake animal products, and you sure as hell don't dream about eating anything but a salad. You can go.
Taste
again.
Huge taste.
Here's the thing, guys. We did not go vegan because we did not like the taste of foods like pepperoni pizza or burgers or mac and cheese. We went vegan because contributing to the unnecessary murder of sentient beings, when you have the choice not to, when you have other options, is wrong.
Yes.
It's wrong.
No vegan goes vegan for taste. This is basic, like, I'd be interested to know her story, because this is so basic.
It sounds like she's just now learning about veganism, or maybe she was plant-based for a very short time, but these are questions that we've answered so many times, and we apologize if they are repetitive in a way.
Well, these questions are repetitive. She asked 4 of them, and they're all about taste pleasure. Do you like the taste? Do you like the taste? Do you like the taste? Do you want to eat these? Do you like the taste?
You like the taste. Admit it, you like the taste. No, you're lying if you say anything else. You're lying.
Of course, everyone likes the taste of mac and cheese. It would be awesome if I could just own a person and they could do all my work for me for free. That would be awesome. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't you like that? You would like that. Admit it, you would like that. You would like to have a person doing free labor for you all day. You would like it. Admit it, you would like it. Of course, but slavery's wrong.
Oh my gosh.
You can go ahead and lie like that, like I said, but what's the truth at the end of the day? You're the one who has to go to sleep with that truth, okay? Number 5. Do you feel personally offended when you encounter an ex-vegan? This might be like a small red flag for some people, but ultimately, like, this is a serious issue. If you encounter an ex-vegan and it causes you instant anxiety, you might want to evaluate why.
Well, we take issue with the term ex-vegan because, as we've discussed, once you've made up your mind that contributing to the exploitation, abuse, torture, and death of animals is wrong, that's it. You can't, how do you go back on that? How do you decide that it's right again? For us, there isn't such a thing as an ex-vegan. You might have been plant-based, which means you did not connect to the ethics, which is what veganism is. It is an ethical lifestyle, because people can be plant-based, and they can still wear leather, they can still go to the zoo and SeaWorld, but that is not veganism. If you're saying, how would we feel if we met someone who used to be plant-based and now isn't? That's like meeting anyone on the street, really, because most people are not vegan.
Are we personally offended? I guess maybe what she's implying, like people like, the Bonnie Rebeccas of the world who were major voices in the vegan movement and now went back to consuming animal flesh. Okay, well, she never was vegan to begin with, so are we offended by Bonnie Rebecca? I would say no.
No, but bummed, if we're being honest, it's a bummer, because she has a huge platform. All these people who used to claim to be vegan and now aren't, or say they aren't, they have very big platforms, which means they have a lot of influence and therefore a lot of responsibility. Yeah,
the raw alignments and the Ravanas and the Bonnie Rebeccas, it's more just like, now that this person used to be such an amazing voice, speaking up for the voiceless. They were out there defending innocent victims of this industry, and now they've decided to contribute to the very industry that they used to speak out against. It's more just, it's confusing. It's sad. It's disappointing. But I don't know that I'm personally offended by it.
Yeah. I take offense at the word offended because I think that word has been so overused.
Yeah, it's been run through the ringer.
I don't know. We are a coddled bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like coddling. I don't like spoon feeding. We don't cater to people's feelings when we do our activism. When you say, oh, I'm offended, it's like, well, actually think about why you're offended. She's right. Like, if you're offended by something, think about why you're offended. It's usually because you have some sort of inner conflict with that thing that you're offended by.
I don't even know if I've been offended. I mean, like, it would take a lot to, like, truly offend me. Like, oh my gosh, what you did or what you said, that was offensive. Ugh. I hear people say things or I see people do things that I don't like, but I honestly don't know where the line is. Like, am I offended or do I just don't like what that person said?
Mm-hmm.
Number 6. How do you feel when you see children or hear adults say that they don't like vegetables, that they don't eat vegetables, or that they don't like fruits and vegetables? How do you feel when you see a compilation of a video of 50 children in a row going blech to broccoli or spinach or cabbage? How does that make you feel? Do you feel personally attacked? Do you feel personally offended when that happens? Because that's something that you might want to investigate. And
let's investigate it.
What?
I don't understand these questions. Children not liking vegetables is actually very subjective because just as many children like vegetables. I used to love peas as a child.
Baby food is usually mashed up vegetables.
Yeah, that's what they start off eating.
I mean,
how do I feel offended by this? I don't think so. We have friends who don't like vegetables.
Yeah, we know adults that don't eat vegetables. Our president doesn't eat vegetables. Like, what? What?
Hypothetically speaking, if someone didn't like, there's one person actually who DM'd me one time, and she was having trouble because she does not like any vegetables, but she likes fruits. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, any vegetables? Like, have you explored? How about potatoes? She's like, yeah, I like potatoes. I'm like, oh, well, that's a vegetable. Or, have you explored making vegetables in this way or that way? But the thing is, what does this have anything to do with veganism being incorrect?
Well, yeah.
That someone doesn't like vegetables.
People like what they're used to. Human beings don't like change. And we live in a country where it seems like increasingly, more and more, parents are starting their children off with things like McDonald's Happy Meals. And kids are getting used to certain flavors at a young age. And children's minds are pleasure-seeking organs. And just human beings in general, we seek pleasure, right? And when you eat a burger and fries and a soda, that's like salt, sugar, and fat bomb going off in your body. And it's like, oh my God, that was the best tasting thing ever. So kids, by definition, are immature. And so they might not like certain flavors. That doesn't mean that needlessly killing animals is all of a sudden moral, because toddlers like chicken nuggets. To your point, some kids do like vegetables. If they've grown up eating vegetables, then chances are they're gonna like vegetables. If they've grown up eating burgers and fries and potato chips and pizza, chances are they're gonna like burgers and fries and potato chips and pizza. Seeing a 6-year-old not want to eat Brussels sprouts, does that offend me? No.
No.
It would be weird if someone was like, I don't like any fruits or vegetables.
Any fruits or vegetables.
Really? You don't like apples? You don't
Oranges,
like oranges?
pineapples, mangoes. I have literally never met someone who didn't like some fruits or some vegetables.
Yeah. Well, the question is, if you see a kid, or when you see, she said when you see kids who don't like fruits and vegetables, or adults like fruits and vegetables, does that offend you?
No. The thing is, I feel like there needs to be a follow-up question to this. If she's putting a period on the question here, then the answer is no. If she's implying something else, then what are you implying?
Well, I think she's implying that because children don't like eating vegetables, eating animal products is okay.
And my 7th and final question is, do you feel, or have you had an increasing amount of the feelings of, say, misanthropy or psychopathy. So do you hate other people? Do you hate the world? Do you wish bad things on people? So are you so jaded by veganism that you want to be completely isolated because you hate people? And is that hatred creeping into being a psychopath and wishing them to die and wishing people to be raped and murdered because they use animal products? Is your veganism causing you to hate humanity and lose your faith in humanity as a whole? So,
if we had lost our faith in humanity, we wouldn't even have this channel. We wouldn't be continuing to do activism. We wouldn't continue to plant seeds of compassion.
Debates with people and try to change their hearts and minds.
Yeah. I mean, do I feel upset when I witness another human being abusing, hitting, stepping on, kicking, burning, cutting off the limbs off? Endless list of horrible, horrible things that we've seen. Do I feel upset at that human being for causing that pain? I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't you? Doesn't it make you sad that there are people out there capable of such horrid acts?
If you saw someone rear back and slap their child across the face, would you be angry at them for doing that?
I was just watching that Netflix special on Gabriel Fernandez, this 8-year-old boy who was tortured, abused, and eventually killed by his mother's boyfriend. Listening to everything he experienced, listening to his brother and sister talk about what they saw, does that make me angry at the person who did that to him? Of course. Mm-hmm. Of course. Not feeling those feelings would probably be more of a mental illness than feeling those feelings. Not feeling empathy, not feeling compassion, not feeling angry at injustice. I think that would be more of a problem. I don't think psychopathy is necessarily the way to describe those kinds of feelings. Psychopathy would be maybe someone who puts those feelings into practice.
Or she said misanthropy too, like just
like hating humans and humanity. I don't, because there are good humans out there too. There are plenty. Yeah, most people are good people. They have good hearts and they want peace and they want love and they want to stop war.
As we've said on this channel plenty of times, 99.9 repeating % of all people are already vegan at heart. We're gonna go ahead and guess Daphne Reloaded herself is probably vegan at heart. She probably doesn't like seeing the footage of animals being abused and killed and mutilated and all this needless violence. Needless.
These sound like questions that she might have asked herself when she was plant-based, and then somehow was like, well, that does make me angry. That does offend me. I am losing hope in humanity. That must mean that veganism is wrong.
People often pit like humans versus non-human animals. They're like, oh, do you care more about humans than about non-human animals? Like it's a weird thing to say, like, well, because human beings out there are doing horrible things to animals, therefore we hate all humans. Like, no. Most humans are good people.
Yeah, and even the humans who have hurt animals really badly, we've talked about this before. I mean, in terms of, like, say, slaughterhouse workers. We've talked about slaughterhouse workers a lot on our channel. And the fact that they have to develop coping mechanisms to kill animals for a living, because no one likes to do that. What ends up happening, they develop PTSD, depression, the crime rates in their cities go up. Domestic violence, alcohol, drug abuse. I mean, this is all documented data.
You're being paid to murder animals for 10, 12 hours.
So
what's that going to do to you?
These people are victims as well. There are excessive forms of violence that I find hard to justify with what I just said, but psychologically speaking, that is probably what is happening. Is that these people are trying to cope by separating the sentience from the animal and looking at that animal as an object. And that is the only way that they can go about their job.
And to your point that you made at the beginning of answering this question, do we not see a future for humanity? Do we hate humanity? Well, obviously not. We're out here trying to talk to humanity because we know that people are good people, they're decent, and we know that people are capable of change and doing amazing things. When they actually align their actions with their values and spread that message of positivity and love, we can achieve amazing things. humanity is amazing. And so no, we don't hate humanity.
So, that's a really good question. And the answer in almost all these situations is yes. The vegan agenda comes with the agenda of the world is overpopulated, people are fucking terrible, get a vasectomy, have an abortion, stop breeding. So if this is your...
What?
Just throw it all out there.
Where is that in the definition of veganism?
I have no idea.
Depopulate the world, get a vasectomy, have an abortion, stop having children. I think that would be antinatalism. I think what you're describing is antinatalism, not veganism.
Two very different things.
This is your mentality, then the answer to this question is probably pretty often. How often do you feel these things? Do you feel misanthropic? Do you feel like you think it's okay for people to die because they ate contaminated meat simply because they ate the meat and they deserve that? Is that your form of communication? Like,
is that yours?
What?
I mean, I feel like she's putting words in our mouths collectively. These sound like things that she's thought of herself. But why is what you've perceived applicable to the rest of us?
How bad does the world have to get for you to feel good about your veganism? Like, if you have isolated yourself from the whole world because you think the world's not vegan and I'm going to turn my back on it, you might want to investigate your life and if that is a problem for you.
She sounds so patronizing and condescending. Talking about isolating ourselves when she's the one in the bathtub. Just saying, isolating ourselves. I mean, I don't know what to make of this. She seems upset. She seems angry. Most people do. Most people who try to argue veganism seem to have had some negative experience themselves and then are just spewing that out. Venting.
I don't understand how, like, vegan activism, right? So trying to not only live a vegan lifestyle, but speak to others and convince others and reach out to others to try to share with them the things that you've discovered and try to get them to change their heart and change their mind and align their actions with their values. You can't isolate yourself and do that. Like, by definition, if you isolate yourself, you're not actively trying to spread the vegan message.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe she's just talking about vegans, not vegan activists. I can imagine, if you're a young person and you come across a cube of truth or you come across a video on YouTube and you are made aware of all of these horrific things that are happening behind closed doors in order to get you the food that you really like. How conflicting that must feel, how frustrating that must feel, how betrayed you must feel. The fact that the dairy industry hides a lot of stuff and just says, keep eating cheese, man, keep eating cheese, don't worry. It's real California cheese, it's great. But they don't show you the killing of the baby calves and the separating from the mothers and the murdering of the mothers when their milk is dried up. Like, they don't show you that. They keep it all hidden.
Yeah.
And so you're a young person and you discover this about our society. That is frustrating. That is demoralizing. That is sad. That is depressing. Mm-hmm. And you might feel these feelings, of course. Of course you're going to feel these feelings. But how do you use those feelings and put them into a positive action?
So again, I'm going to put all of these questions in the description or maybe in a comment that I pin, and vegans can just copy and paste and answer all of these questions in the comment section, either honestly or dishonestly. I don't really care, because at the end of the day, if you're lying or not, you crave animal products, you probably know you need animal products, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, this video is, again, a collaboration with 3 other people, and if you're interested in getting 15% off, Penny Lane is offering a discount using the code Daphne's Channel 2020. All the details will be in the description below. Tell her that Daphne sent you. If you want to hear an amazing ex-vegan show, call it a show, it's a podcast type of thing, listen to Tabitha. I'll put the link in the description. She has her own little radio station. It is pretty fantastic. It's called Where Thought is Free Radio, and I actually really like that. It's really awesome. And then also, I'm going to put the link in the description for the original video, which sparked the inspiration for this video, which came from Vegan Deterioration, which was her original 3 questions for vegans, which which were really, really awesome. In fact, one of the best videos I've seen in a while. And it, like I said, it led me to put this into my diary and want to make a video asking vegans these 7 questions. And these 7 questions, I feel, when answered honestly, can lead someone to understand how deeply hungry and how deeply affected they are by the, not just the vegan diet, but also the ideology. The ideology that is humans are trash and they should just starve and stop hurting animals. And man, it's a shitty way to think. It's a very isolating and shitty way to think. And I know about it because I've been there. So you can't tell me that you don't have these feelings, and you can't tell me
I've been there. Key phrase in this entire video is that she's been there. So
she's experienced these thoughts, apparently.
And hence decided that contributing to the exploitation and abuse and torture and death of animals is okay again.
It was wrong for a little while, I guess. But now it's
Well,
fine.
that's the thing, is that throughout this entire video, there has been zero mention of the ethics of killing animals unnecessarily for taste pleasure.
Taste pleasure was brought up quite a bit, though.
Yeah, taste pleasure was.
It was like
Sensory
5 out of the
pleasure.
7 questions.
Yeah. But it seems that maybe she did not like the way she felt about other people because she really does truly care about animals. There are ways, guys, to get through these feelings. We have had to get through many feelings ourselves in our activist journey, but that doesn't mean that we just decided to quit veganism. that we decided that, oh, this is too hard for me. Because it's not about me, it's not about us. This is about the animals. Replace the victim before you come up with your arguments, because we see this a lot in the comments, and that's what we've been doing. We've been replacing the victim. Replace what you just said about animals, but use children, use African Americans, use women.
Use the gay community.
Anything.
Use the trans community. Or any other group. Would you be justifying oppressing them using sensory pleasure?
that you don't do these things. And not one vegan is going to answer these questions in a way that is going to fix it and prove that veganism is correctly, even if they lie. I mean, seriously.
That's assuming that everyone is like you. I mean, she seems to have a very narrow view of the world. Maybe she hasn't met that many other vegans or activists. She seems to think that everyone thinks like her.
Seriously, think about it. They'd have to say, no, I don't dream about eating non-vegan foods. I've never eaten fake milk. I've never eaten soy milk or almond milk. I've never eaten fake meat, fake milk, fake butter, or fake eggs. And that includes crumbling up tofu and calling it tofu scramble and adding some shit to it to make it yellow, like turmeric and other spices, and basically making fake eggs. And also...
What's wrong?
Fake eggs.
What's wrong with that? I don't get it. Like, I don't get what's wrong with adding turmeric and a little bit of
Salt and garlic.
Callinemuc salt and having it taste like it. What is wrong with that? Call it fake, call it
You can call it fake.
plant-based, call it whatever. It does not contribute to the exploitation, abuse, torture, and death of animals in the way that eating animal products does.
Also fake cheese. You're not going to tell me you don't eat any of these products. You're not going to tell me that. Like, that is some bullshit, and who's buying them, okay? Veganism is on the rise, and these products are all throughout the stores. Fake meat is everywhere. Fake cheese is everywhere. Who's fucking buying them? It's vegans who are fucking buying them. So vegans need to just go ahead and admit that they're fucking eating them and quit being fucking stupid.
Actually, no.
She's so angry. It's hilarious.
But actually, no, vegans are not the primary demographic for a lot of these fake meats, fake cheeses, fake milks.
Because we're a very small percentage still.
We're
Do you
tiny.
think these people are just making vegan food for the 3% of vegans in the world?
No, meat eaters.
It wouldn't work economically for them.
You realize that the vast majority of Asian populations, African populations, Native American populations, Hispanic populations, all majority lactose intolerant. So you think Almond Debris is targeting vegans? No! They're targeting anyone who wants to buy almond milk. Meat eaters drink almond milk. Meat eaters can eat vegan cheese. Meat eaters can eat vegan meat alternatives. Vegetarians can eat vegan meat alternatives.
Buddhists, Muslims, I mean, everyone, there are so many people who don't eat meat whether it be for ethics or whatever, but these products would not be making it in the market if we were the only ones buying them. That's just the law of economics and supply and demand.
Yeah, and this is amazing outreach, I must say. Going up to someone and I say, I'm going to ask you 7 questions, and don't tell me you're going to answer them this way, because you're not. You're lying. That's bull. You are full of shit if you answer it this way, not this way. But let me ask you, answer honestly, but don't tell me. She's accosting her
I hope
audience.
she's not a preschool teacher. Because
amazing carnivore activism right here.
Okay, this tastes too good to be vegan. That has never crossed your mind? I don't know. Maybe I haven't been vegan long enough. Okay, do you feel personally offended when you encounter an ex-vegan? Sure you do. Absolutely, sure you do. Don't fucking lie about it. How often do you feel like shit when you see children rejecting vegetables, or grown-ass adults who have no medical problems and say to you, I don't eat fruits and vegetables? How does that make you feel? Because if you're a vegan and you're a vegetableist and you really agree with the vegan ideology, that would really piss you off. And you want to understand that. You want to dig deep into those emotions as to why that pisses you off. And as far as becoming psychopathic and misanthropic because of veganism, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself and tell yourself that it doesn't come with an agenda that is anti-human, because that is so obvious that is what it is. I mean, it comes with an environmentalist agenda, an anti-human agenda, an anti-breeding agenda, an anti-natal agenda, totally an anti-baby agenda at all, and subsequently, because of all of that, an anti-family agenda. Congratulations, vegans. You've isolated yourself from the whole world to prove that you're correct. How does that make you feel?
I want her to answer those questions.
Whoa.
Because it sounds like she was those things.
Yeah.
Because she's assuming everyone else is those things who is vegan.
She brought it home. I mean, she really brought it home with vim and vigor. I don't know why she thinks that vegans are anti-baby or anti-family. This makes no sense. Vegans have babies.
First of all, our agenda. Our agenda is not to kill people off or depopulate the world. None of those things. It's simply to have conversations with people, to illustrate to people that they actually do value non-human lives, that they don't like to watch animals suffer. I think most people don't agree with animal cruelty. The problem is most people also don't know or haven't thought of or are not aware of the fact that in order to put meat and cheese and eggs on the table, that they are unknowingly or unintentionally participating, paying into an industry that literally profits off of animal cruelty. That is all. That is all we're saying.
Yes, it's funny how anti-human was brought up by Sverige, I think, and then anti-family seems to be a thing with Primal Edge Health too.
Yeah.
Like his thing is eat meat, make families, as if you couldn't eat plants and make families. Why are they related? No idea. Actually, veganism has nothing to do with human beings at all. It's actually 100% to do with the non-human victims. If you want to be a vegan and have a baby, go for it. If you want to be a vegan and never have a baby, go for it. You want to be a vegan and start a family? You do you. You want to be vegan and never start a family? You do you.
That's your choice. It is a choice.
It is
a free world.
It is, as Ask Yourself says, orthogonal to veganism. Starting a family, having babies, being angry at other humans is way over here, and veganism is over here. They're two Venn diagrams, and they don't intersect at all.
So that said,
that was
not intellectually stimulating at all.
No, but it was auditorily stimulating. There was a lot of volume.
Yeah.
There was a lot of dB, a lot of gain coming our way through the YouTubes from Daphne Reloaded. So what do you guys think about Daphne Reloaded's video? Do you agree with what she says? Do you disagree with what she says? What do you think of our response to her video? You can let us know down there in the comments. Just as we accepted the debate offer from Primal Edge Health, Daphne Reloaded, we'd be more than happy to have a debate with you. On your channel, on our channel, doesn't matter. We would love to debate the ethics of veganism. If you would like to debate, let us know. And if you guys want to check us out day to day, what we're up to, you want to follow our stories, check out our posts, please follow our Instagram page.
We are also very grateful to all of our Patreon patrons. You guys really help us out. You help us with our activism, you know, whether it means that we have a little more money to donate to a particular sanctuary, the sanctuary that we volunteer at, that we love, Kindred Spirits Care Farm. Check them out on Instagram as well. All the chickens that we've rescued from slaughterhouses went to Kindred Spirits Care Farm. They're great. And get ready for your summer vegan festivals with some new gear from our Etsy store. Check it out.
Bye.
Bye.
There's a lot of stuff that, like, I might not. Petunia.
Because that is driving me insane.
I'm gonna restart the video anyway.
Okay. Petunia.
Betty.
Okay. Sorry, I know this is long.
Aria's snoring.
Yeah.
Aria up there. Aria has a little deviated septum. Yes, Petunia.
I want everything to be mine. I want all of this is my dominion. I get to do whatever I want with everything.
You're worth it to